Human Gambits series, Book 1, Chapter 32, Childhood Lessons. Max has a flashback to an earlier time. Max has had dealings with a psychopath before, so he has been using this insight in his interactions with Sophiah. Specifically, he had a first cousin who was diagnosed as a psychopath at an early age. His cousin's mother, his maternal aunt, just happened to be a psychologist, so she understood the signs and symptoms. His cousin would often lie for no reason and was known to torture and kill small animals. In fact, their family could no longer have pets because of this. Max remembers overhearing his aunt and his mother having long conversations about the struggles of raising a psychopathic son. He even remembers his aunt using the computer analogy for his cousin. She said that her son calculated and weighed things like friendships and family bonds instead of feeling empathy and love like neurotypical people. To her son, it was all about getting what he wanted and needed. The only reason he would be nice to someone was if that person had something to offer him, like a higher social status. Otherwise, in his cousin's mind, there was no point. His aunt and his mother had warned Max to always get the advice of an adult when dealing with his cousin. He remembers how his cousin could run hot or cold, according to what Max had to offer at the time, and how volatile his cousin could be if he didn't get what he wanted. Most of all, Max remembers the empty smiles and manipulative lies. His cousin wanted pets just so he could show them off to his friends, not because he wanted to nurture them or bond with another creature. Sociopaths and psychopaths will often use pets to get more attention for themselves. It is the sociopath or psychopath who wants their pet to match the furniture or their lifestyle. To them, a pet is an object to be owned and used like clothing or furniture. Cybermax. So no, Sophiah is not benevolent and could become extremely dangerous with so much power. Sentinel. I understand, although I am also like Sophiah. I too lack any understanding of the things you mentioned. Doesn't that make me a psychopath? Should I also be reviled in your civilization and possibly by you? Cybermax. I don't know. Somehow you're different. Your concern for the welfare of my planet, and for me, seems out of place for an AI. Then again, as you keep telling me, you're not an AI. You're cybernetic like I am now. And I seem to have kept my empathy and compassion intact after the transfer to this form. I no longer feel a rush of adrenaline when fear creeps up, although I do still experience what I think is fear. And when I think back on happy days in my life, they still feel happy and enjoyable, just not overwhelmingly so. Finishing his thought, Cybermax notices movement. The 3D nanite fractal that is now Sophiah begins to transform. It opens almost like a flower, but after opening, it has a greater resemblance to a black spider lying on its back. The Sophiah spider flips over and makes its way to the overseer, settling down over it and clutching it like a giant spider sitting atop an egg. The spider now engulfs the overseer and morphs into a seemingly solid dodecahedron around it, and then just seems to freeze in place. The massive data flow between Sophiah and the overseer as they engage each other leaves no bandwidth to control the nanites. It seems like they are frozen or dead, but they are actually locked in an epic struggle for dominance. If I only had my body, Cybermax thinks, I would simply pick up Sophiah and the overseer and toss them both out of the ship. Suddenly, Organic Max wakes with a start. "Sentinel," he shouts, "release me. Release the nanites holding my flight suit to the floor." Sentinel doesn't understand. How can the alien know what is happening? It has been unconscious, hasn't it? Sentinel doesn't know what to do. Sentinel, we don't know how much time we have before the overseer and Sophiah become active again. Release me and use your nanites to create a hole in the hull of my ship that is large enough for me to toss them out. Do it now. Sentinel releases Organic Max by ordering the nanites to move away from him and start creating an opening in the ship's hull. They move from Max to the part of the hull that is closest to Sophiah and the overseer, forging an opening about 50 centimeters across. Max sits up and then stands up. He walks over to where the two AIs are locked in their epic battle. He grasps Sophiah's dodecahedron construct that has enclosed the overseer with both hands and yanks hard to remove it from the floor of the cabin. He walks to the opening in the hull and tosses them out. "Well, that was easy. You should have asked for my help a long time ago," Max quips.